Everybody online, we're gonna get started soon.
Okay, so we're live on.
We are live. Yeah, they see us double. It looks so funny. They see us triple. Sorry.
Yes. Stand.
Yeah, we can all stand and give up our chairs.
That's okay. Just stand up for now. Is that okay? I'll stand back a little bit. Okay, everybody. So welcome.
Welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2024.
This is like the gym. Everybody's back to work out and get fit.
That's right. This like this is like a
Let's see
first
if we can keep it up.
Yeah.
the first day at the gym. That's right. Here we go.
Everyone went to the gym this morning, now to the office.
We're all on our best routines here.
So 2023, thank gosh that's over, right?
Yes.
All right. I said about 2020, but 2023 was a funny year, and I think 2023, in my opinion, was the COVID year.
Yeah.
Because in 2020 we didn't know what was going on, and in 2021 it went nuts. And then the government said, okay, we'll fix you. In 2022, they changed the interest rates, and then they did again in 2023. 2023, unfortunately, ended up being at a 20-year low for sales, which is a good news or bad news. Good news is that we're all still here.
Yeah.
Right. And I would have thought that I thought there would have been a lot of folks that that maybe didn't renew their licenses for 2024 because of the way the market was, but I'm surprised how little it was. It was I read something like less than 2% of the population decided to get out of the business. So that's interesting to see. But then we still have a payment to be made on the the 15th of January. So we'll see how many people
Don't renew.
I may revise that number in a couple of days, so we'll see what happens, right? So what do you guys think? So everybody's here. Who's got some show of hands here? And just for the people at home, we probably have, I don't know, probably 60 people here right now, which is probably the most one we've had in a long time. Show of hands for 2024. Is the market going to be higher or lower? And when I say higher, are we talking about what? Talking about prices or units? Everything. And I want you, and that's a very particular question here, because as realtors, we don't care about prices. Okay, we care about volume. And if the price is going up, prices go down, makes no difference to us because we want volume. So in my opinion, I'd rather see the prices not increase. I'd rather see the prices drop another 5% or more. But is that going to happen? Hands up, yes or no? Yes? You think the prices are going to drop?
No doubt.
So even though I just said that it's good if it happened, I made a prediction here. I think next year the prices themselves are actually going to increase about 5%. And I say that 5% because the interest rates, even though they will be coming down a little bit, they're only talking about maybe a quarter point. If they do come down, maybe a quarter point. That's all, right? Which is okay. So I think our sellers have to adjust to the realities. Anybody know what I'm talking about there? Seller in February 22, somebody sold a house for $1.3 million, and in December 23, they still want the same price when the prices have dropped. They don't see it. So we went from what? How many active listings do we have in November?
It's 15,000.
15,000. How much do we have at the end of December?
10.
Less, like 10,000. So we lost, what was the number? It was 15,000, right? Look at Nelson, right? Nelson, about 15,000 was last November. I probably got it here somewhere, but we lost about 5,000 listings, right, in the last couple of days. We only sold 3,000 of them, so 2,000 of them came off the market, which is normal, right? But we see this all the time. We always see this at year end. We always see these types of things happening, so that's fine. We'll take advantage of it. I'm just going to run some numbers here. We're going to do a little bit of things different this year, and for I think I didn't do the opening thing.
Okay, you start over.
Okay, so welcome everybody to the January 2024. This is January the 8th today. What else did you want me to say?
That's it. We'll edit that.
We're just doing a timestamp for later on, so that's fine. So we're going to change up a little bit here. Rather than me talking and going through all the stats and whatnot, we're going to maybe try to get to Katelyn and Kari to talk more about hands-on things, more of the training stuff. Very similar to what Chris just talked about. For those people that are here, they saw what Chris just said, but people at home maybe not. but he's saying that the market's strong, and basically his pillars are different than other people's pillars. But he's talking about prospecting being important, the presentation itself, the pricing and persuasion. So it's really not that difficult, all these things. The most difficult would be number one would be the prospect, right? In my opinion, the prospect would be the tough one, but now that you're all charged up and you're all ready to go for the new year, I think you might want to get your business plans going and have that prospecting all set up. Talking to some agents already, they've got their business plan already laid out and they're actually executing their business plan as we speak, and they're all energized because they have something to do and they're all ready to go. So that's important things. Let's just recap last year for you on the stats. So Trevor reported 3,400. Yeah, so 3,444 sales. It's actually up almost 11.5% from last December. So that's encouraging. Average price is encouraging too. Average price is $1,084,000. So average price is actually up 3.2% from December last year. But if we take the whole year, like from January to December, and divide it by the total sales and the total numbers, the actual prices actually dropped 5.6%, which is a good thing. But average price is just average, right? Doesn't mean that in your neighborhood the prices drop 5.5. It depends what's going on in that particular building, in that particular neighborhood. You have to analyze, but it's just a general thought, but it's there. 32 days, average days on the markets. You know what we were last, not this December, the December before, December of 2022. Month of inventory was 0.8 months. Now it's 3. So it's just to show you how the market's changed quite a bit there. There's just no inventory at all. The prices themselves, average prices, have actually stabilized, even though it's up from the month and down year to date. The prices have actually stabilized from it was $1,036,000 in January last year, was the lowest price all year for all 23. So it actually went up from January 23 right till December. It peaked in May, I believe it was, at 1.18. Sorry, 1.195, and at the end of the year at 1,084,000. So it dropped about $100,000 average price from the peak to December, but it's still okay because it's still the average prices that we're talking about. So still 1.5. So average median price right now about $1,050,000. 1.1 is about the average price, and it's going to stay there for a while, and it's not going anywhere. So that's important. Yeah, yours. Okay. Okay. Interest rates, Varan, what's your we got Varan here. What's your guess you think for interest rates?
They're predicting a rate cut in April, no change in January and March.
Say it again. So you expect
Rate cut in April,
you're expecting a rate cut in April, which should be April 24. Okay.
nothing in January.
Nothing January. Okay, so that's fine. So what has to happen is we have to adjust the prices, right? Prices have to adjust on what's going on, and that's the area that you need to do there, right? Okay. What are you predicting? Sorry, somebody asked you a question, sir.
I think the April will be 0.25, predicting.
Yeah. So you may have clients here that are saying, I want to wait for the interest rates to drop. I want interest rates to come back. The interest rates are never going to come back to the point that we saw in the last couple of years. Those days are long gone. If they're going to do interest rate drops, it's going to be a quarter point. So if you got a buyer sitting there, I want to wait for the interest rates to drop, they're going to wait a long time. And so they need to get out of that mind frame. If you've got a seller saying, I want this high price, I want what the guy got in 2022, then the same story. You're not going to get that. It's not going anywhere. And what Chris was talking about in the presentation, pricing is critically important, very, very important. And you've got to make sure you price it right. You got to make it, you do like a strategy price. Overall, just to give you my idea, again, the sales themselves were year to date minus 11% or so. It's okay, minus 11%, minus 10%. It's okay. It's fair, but. Good news is on January 7th, which is yesterday, so we've got 1 week into January. Sales for January this year versus January last year so far are up 41%.
1 week.
It's 1 week. right?
Going wild.
If I break that down, we've got freeholds are actually up 45% and condos are up 36%. And I'm talking about units because we care about units, right? Prices are a different story. So that tells me that things are happening a little bit out there and we are getting off to a good start. And it's good that you're all here because I think it's going to be a great 2024. She said, I'm conservatively thinking that it's going to be 5% for prices. I want to say 10% for volume, but I even want to stretch that to 15%.
Up. That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. Because we had 67 sales last year, the entire year, 67 sales. That number has not been reached in the last 20 years. It was 20 years ago that we had numbers that low. And in 20 years, the population, I'm sure, has gone up, I don't know how much. So that's why you're probably seeing a lot of leases. Anybody's noticed a lot of leases recently? Reason part of leases because people can't afford to buy. Right? And we do know that during the 2022 that people did buy secondary properties. So 1 in 4 properties being sold in 22 were being sold to people that already owned a property. So it's natural that they're investing in that. So you want to convince your clients, forget about the renter clients that have money right now, they want to maybe get that investment property and get involved in that game. So part of your conversation to your client should be, yes, you got a nice home. Yes, things are fine, but now it's time to grow a little bit. Let's buy a second property. Right?
Yep.
That's it. That's all I got to say right now. I'm gonna let you guys.
Okay, so note to January 2025, your predictions, 5%
But-
down for pricing and 15% up for volume.
Up.
You're expecting prices to go increase or decrease by?
I'm expecting prices to decrease.
Yeah. Oh. Note to January 2025, I'll rewatch.
I'm
this
hoping they'll
over.
decrease. Does anybody else hope they'll decrease? Probably. Am I the only guy that's thinking that? Probably. The reason why I say that because I know that the buyers are out there, but they can't afford it. So that's why I like to see the for us volume, right?
Yep.
That's something to talk to your clients. They want to wait. Hey, my boss said the price is going to drop. So what are you waiting for? Right?
Sure.
Good.
Sure. Okay, let's chat about some new rules and some laws, and Caitlin's going to talk about some tips and tricks and training. So the government's always looking for ways to make more money. They do this in lots of creative ways through our taxes. So they've just introduced what I'll call a rich people tax. This is for your properties over $3 million. So right now our land transfer tax, you have provincial in Toronto, right? So you have municipal land transfer tax. All those tiers stayed the same, except they added a whole new block of tiers for any property over $3 million. So it's quite aggressive taxes. So you can calculate this. We have our own website, century21toronto.com. There's a land transfer tax calculator right there. I get this question a lot, like what's the percentage of land transfer tax? It's based on tiers, right? So it really depends on the purchase price. I can't really say it's an average of 1-2%. Doesn't really work like that. So you're best just to calculate it exactly. So I use this a lot. I don't do it in my head. Someone like Claire might do that math in your head, but we don't. So on a $3.5 million property, you've got about $73,000 in provincial tax and another like double, $74,000 again in just Toronto land transfer tax. So you're looking at almost $150,000 just to transfer that title, just to make a purchase like that. Land transfer tax.
For luxury.
The municipal part of it, there's a new tier for anything over $3 million. And of course, upwards, $4 or $5 million, you're getting into some big tiers. So that's a quite hefty land transfer. And you need to have that cash ready to go at closing. It doesn't come out of a mortgage or anything. So just to let your
When does that start?
already started January 1st. Yeah.
There was another news today that Toronto, they're gonna increase the property tax, like a massive.
Yeah. So again, they're looking for ways to make money. They make a lot of money off of these taxes. So
So last year was 5.5, I guess, for Toronto.
it's more
And that's residential.
residential single family. Yeah. Cool. Perfect.
Okay, so the question was that the assessed values came up in Ontario,
thing.
right? The impact came up, all assessed values went up. So what that means is that the impact has assessed all the properties in, let's say for Toronto, and they say, okay, here's the assessed value for Toronto. And then Toronto in turn, that assessed value may have gone up. Did it say what it went up? May have gone up 20%. Okay, let's just pick a number. The value went up 20%. Then the Toronto will take their budget and they'll divide their expenditures by the total assessment, and that's how they come up with the mill rate. just because the assessed value has gone up 20% doesn't mean taxes are going to go up 20%. Taxes are going to be based on the budget. So taxes may only go up 3-4%, whereas assessed value has gone up 20. And the media is trying to sell newspapers by saying that, hey, your taxes are going to go way up. So understand the source and understand how it's going, and make sure you understand so you can explain to your clients to the benefit, right? So just because the value went up 20% doesn't mean the tax.
Yep. But good point. There are $42 billion surge in just property inventory from MPAC. Crazy. Other taxes that went up are the vacant home tax. So that just started in 2022. We were really confused about how to submit it. Everyone got that yellow piece of paper that we had to tell our client to submit. So for 2022, 2023, it was only 1%. And then all of a sudden in 2024, they've jumped it up to 3%. So they've more than doubled that for vacant home tax. So I don't think they collected a whole bunch in 2023. They did a few, but they're trying to get some more, and they're just going to try to cash in on the ones that don't submit or that are vacant.
How do they know?
You have to declare it. You have to declare every year.
Blue button.
If you don't declare, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
If they don't declare, they'll assume it's vacant and they'll charge you. And then it's up to you to appeal.
Yeah.
So it's
You have to show, you actually have to put if you're renting the property, you have to put the tenants' names in it as well. I don't think you have to upload the lease agreement, but I remember I had to put my tenant's contact information in it, showing that it wasn't a vacant unit. So that's how you declare it.
So we should all get new.
In just Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll get a new yellow piece of paper, I guess, to declare it. Maybe it'll be-
It's not just Toronto, it's also, I think, Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton has.
Hamilton and Ottawa.
Okay.
So I bet lots of other cities will start to implement that too.
Not that right?
Not Durham right now, no.
Not yet.
I guess Durham has higher property taxes.
They do have higher property taxes, yeah.
Yeah.
The cost reference with CRA, like with the name of the tenant and stuff, like.
I don't know.
anybody?
I don't know if they would.
I would say yes.
Probably.
Is it kind of self-declaration or something like that?
It's reverse billing.
Yeah.
Rogers. It's a reverse billing. If you don't tell them it's not vacant, they're gonna charge you.
It's vacant in their eyes.
Doesn't matter. If you don't tell them that it's vacant or not
Yes,
vacant,
it
they're
is.
gonna charge you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is
You
there
have
any deadline, like cutoff date?
Yeah. Last year was like February something, like February 4th or something.
February.
So February 29th. Is there a 29th in February?
28.
All right.
So and what they do, they'll charge $250 to reassess it.
Crazy question, can somebody live part-time in this house and part-time in that house, is that okay?
They want to know if it's been vacant for 6 months. If it's more than 6 months, they consider it to be vacant.
Annual declaration?
Yeah. So good excuse to reach out to your clients, to remind them that they need to declare it when it comes. You can even declare it before, because you can declare right now. So Ontario, yep, go for it.
Is everybody okay with that vacant tax? I mean, you're right, because I tell you what.
All properties, any property in Toronto,
Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa.
in Ottawa.
So this is, we talked about this before. This is a talking point for you to talk to your clients, right? When you talk to your clients, you need to have, what do you want to talk to your clients about? I mean, what can you talk? Okay, beware of the land transfer tax. Beware of that yellow piece of paper that comes in the mail. Don't throw it in the garbage. Talk to me if you have any questions.
That was a really good touch point actually last year. Everyone sent emails to their Toronto people.
I think they'll still
They
send
probably
that.
will, yeah.
They're gonna send a yellow piece of paper to every homeowner again. They do it every year, and every year they have to declare.
But keep in mind, it's going to whatever your service address is. So if you didn't change your service address to be another address, it's going right to that property. So if you have tenants there, you yourself may not receive it unless you've changed your service address. So you might as well just go online and
What
do it.
happens if you have a rental property and you're going for 7 months and not be able to rent it?
It's considered vacant.
It's vacant.
The price is
too high.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You need a realtor. Not a good one.
We feel okay about vacant home tax. So we've got land transfer tax increases, vacant home tax. And then you're spending more money now. So other people are looking for ways to make money. That's in your Ontario Realtor Wellness Program. So Clarity mentioned that the fees are due Jan 15th. Most of you probably paid already. If you did pay by December 31st, you would have got a link soon, probably today, I think, for the actual portal. So just a reminder, like we're not or RWP administrators. I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't know the portal information. So make sure you're checking the ORIA website. All the information is there. If you forget, we can direct you to it, but I'm most likely going to direct you right to here. And then we got an email just last week, Tuesday, talking about the portal. So if you haven't paid yet, you're waiting till the 15th. You won't get that portal till closer to. But if you did pay already, you're going to get a portal link that you're going to go in and add your beneficiaries. You can see all your plans, and it's going to have the process and procedure to submit your claims as well.
When's that gonna be, Bill?
They just said January 8th for people that did pay before December 31st. So if you didn't pay already, you are eligible for the benefits as of Jan 1st, so you can go back and still submit them. It's just the portal access you will not get until you pay those dues.
I'm so used to the seniors.
Well, it's a little bit of use,
No,
just
that's not
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still get all the other benefits. It's just the life insurance component is a little different. It's a little ageist, yeah.
Is it beneficiary, your kids could be part of that plan?
That's a little bit different. Beneficiary, I mean, for your life insurance. So should something
But the
happen in
kid
your
can
life,
be on
that's a
it.
codependent. So that's called a codependent plan where you can add your children to your benefit plan for extra costs.
If you put real estate agent, there's no.
Yeah, you'll add the dependent to one of your plans.
There's no discount,
Same
everything?
Yeah, I had the same question.
Yeah.
You can just maximize them both. I mean, Sanic and I will be in the same boat too, so.
You can now opt out.
Julian?
Under special circumstances, but you still have to pay.
My benefits have already filled out.
Oh, it could have been when you did maybe your application when we first got licensed, maybe they pull it from that, because they do ask your beneficiaries when you
good.
do your application.
Okay, I was
so-
wondering how they were gonna get
so
that information.
maybe they take it from when you applied.
Okay.
Huh, that's good to know.
Good.
Again, we don't work for AREA, so if you guys have questions.
Yeah, we saw some
Well,
questions in the WhatsApp group last night, still asking if it was mandatory, and yes, it's part of your plan. We've already gone through the voting process. It's mandatory.
Yeah, you put it or not.
I'm an old guy now, so I can talk old guy stuff. Right?
Yeah.
I know some people that are no longer married or with the person that they were 20 years ago, and they never changed the beneficiary.
Uh-oh.
That's all I gotta say. Not me.
Stay the same.
Mine stays the same.
Okay, we're good with that. No more money talk. There's lots of money being spent this month. Effective January, we've already communicated it, but they just introduced the realtor cooperation policy. We've been talking about it all year last year. This is a Korea advocated rule. It's related to your exclusive and coming soon listings. So you can only have an exclusive or coming soon within 3 days. It needs to be on MLS. So I still see a lot of exclusives in my area. I don't know if you've seen them driving around or anything, but
Not mine.
I've seen a couple. I mean, the only way you're going to get in trouble is if you report each other. So, I mean, unless the public knows that rule, it's really going to be other agents reporting you. But just keep that in mind. So you can advertise to each other. So we've got a huge group here. You can advertise that exclusive within the brokerage. You can do that doing Broker Bay or via email. You can also advertise like one-on-one to agents. So maybe you've identified some agents in the local area that you want to just message them one-on-one. You can do that. Otherwise, if it's social media, public sign needs to be on MLS within 3 days. And I'm sure they count day one, that full day being in the market. So keep in mind, it's like almost 2 days needs to be on MLS.
So even if there's no MLS logo, we're still obligated to put it on MLS?
Yes. Yes.
So if you guys start doing coming soon on social media, it has to be on the market in 3 days.
So
You
for
can have an
next week,
exclusive
though,
signed and just like have it for months. You just can't publicly announce that you have it. So you can't advertise it
You
really.
can't put it on.
You can't put a sign up, nothing.
But I can talk about it?
Only to the office.
Your peers or one-on-one to agents. So
one-on-one.
not in like a masked email kind of way.
Or one-on-one conversations, but you cannot publicly advertise.
So you couldn't send like a mass email to like
We can send emails.
one-on-one,
One-on-one.
not like a mass email.
You can't mass announce it. Their goal is to get more listings on MLS this year than exclusive.
That's really the goal. They want to make sure the consumers are all aware of what's available. They don't want anyone to feel left out. They want it on MLS. I'm sure they want to protect their own MLS system and make sure that there's some, everything's on there. But yeah, this is a Korea thing. So it's not part of Tressa. It's just timing wise, it's close, but it's not Tressa. It's Korea. It's, yeah.
Like that.
That's still considered advertising, but you're in our own
in
group.
the, in our
yes.
WhatsApp for the
Yes.
office.
You know,
yes.
with our
office, what's
Yeah,
up?
office,
Yes.
Yeah, just not like the other groups, like the mass, like assignment groups, things like that. The only exception may be an assignment because builders will not allow you to put on MLS. So that would be considered an exception. Yeah. Now you're not gonna have less, you have less signs and things like that too,
Is this
right?
just
So-
residential too or commercial? Both, okay. Commercial as well.
There are social media groups regarding, the exclusive group. So we cannot put anymore there.
No, nothing. One-on-one.
That's still
No.
individual one-on-one.
No.
But how are you gonna track it? Send like,
Yeah.
Someone will tell on you.
Again, it's, yeah, you guys are gonna get
You
each
just-
other in trouble.
If you guys sell it off of market and someone finds out, then.
But what would be the point of an exclusive?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want it on MLS? You really should want it. I think it's just the 3 days that makes it challenging, but you should want it on MLS. There's
Yeah.
like,
I think there are exceptions.
not yet, we haven't set precedent yet.
The other thought too is to educate your stagers and photographers who may post on social media.
Oh, yeah, they can either.
Sometimes they do it all like a teaser. They
It's
can't do a
true.
teaser unless it's screens.
I'm gonna report Sean Love.
You actually should.
I'm doing it right now.
Strange part about this law here is the only people that can complain are your fellow
Yeah,
realtors.
exactly.
That's right, yeah.
If they find out a house sells before they got
I
to it.
mean, basically the problem was this, somebody would phone up a realtor, say, I saw this sign down the street there, what's the property? And then the agent can't find an MLS, and that's
Yeah.
the issue, right?
Like we had a case where my client said, oh, there's a coming soon. This is in Nobleton, which they do a lot of exclusives in that area because there's a lot of luxury people that could keep things private. But my client wanted to go see it and they said, no, we're not doing showings. It's only to our own exclusive network, meaning they were trying to double end it. And that's what they're trying to prevent with something like this, is to get it on MLS, make sure it's fair, make sure everyone can see the listing and everyone has a fair shot at that listing.
But you can still sell it exclusively.
Yeah.
You just can't promote it.
You can to your own database.
Within 3 days.
No, like you can sell it
Yeah, if
off
you start
market. just
advertising.
Do not advertise it.
Yeah, it's the advertising part of it that they want you to cooperate on.
Because if you're gonna say coming soon, it better be coming soon in 3 days.
For sale signs, a pretty big form of advertising. Social media would be like secondary, and then your email would be another form. How are we
Yeah.
feeling about Tressa? We've been about a month with Tressa. I'm still getting questions. What is a RICO information guide? Is it mandatory? I'm still getting some questions, which is okay, but how do we all feel? Are we waiting to practice it more still?
Does anyone not know what Tressa is?
Who's Teresa? Anyone not know
Who's
who
Teresa?
Teresa is? So we're going to keep reminding you, probably still send some emails. Of course, we're all here if you do have questions, so just let us know. This workflow is probably like the best thing you can, study and get for yourself. I have it printed around the office as well. We're still debating on mirror postings, mirror listings. So a mirror listing is when somebody has contracted a listing brokerage or an agent to just post it on MLS. So they're not doing anything else. It's literally just a mere posting on MLS. Usually the commission is $1. Sometimes the seller agrees to pay commission. Claire and I and the team have been battling with Oria, Rico, multiple different lawyers. Everybody has a different opinion. The main confusion or challenge is how do we get paid from a mere posting? So the brokerage is only paying $1. The sellers agreed to pay commission, which we used to do in the form of a form 202. That just says the seller agrees to pay commission. It's, sort of black and white. Under Tressa, you're not allowed to be paid by anybody without an agreement. So obviously in the old days under REBA, you wouldn't have an agreement with that person. The agreement is only to get paid. Under Tressa, you need an actual representation agreement to get paid. So we're having a ballot challenge with listing brokerages of doing these mirror postings. They now have a seller limited service agreement to do that mirror posting. So now we're a buyer. The seller has agreed to pay commission. We've negotiated that, but how do we get paid? So we've been debating this with Oria, Rico. Oria's position was that we as a buyer agent would also need a seller limited services agreement to get paid. But now there's 2 seller limited services agreements, and now that's actually multiple representations. So that's a whole other confusion. Rico, I think as far as we know from last week, we'll see if they put out a bulletin. Rico's position is that you can use CCR form 320. That's your confirmation of representation form. Listing brokerage would identify that they're representing the seller. They're not involved at all in the flow of commission. So we have in the comments that we're going to get paid by the seller through their lawyer. Problem is the CCR is actually just a confirmation. It's not really an agreement. So I'm still not convinced that's the right way to do it. But as long as Rico is, declaring that's how they'd like to see it, we're going to go with that. But I still think we're going to get some opinions and we want to see what they come out with.
It's gonna be in the offer, not the 60.
Well, the CCR has to identify both the comments and in your agreement in your Schedule A that irrevocably the seller agrees to pay commission exactly what the amount is plus HST via the lawyer upon closing. So we're going to do it both in the CCR and the agreement. So just let us know if you get into that situation too, because there's other factors, depending on if they have designated rep with that seller or not. There's a whole bunch of other variables, but right now we're going to use CCR and a clause in your agreement. That may change. We've had 2 different lawyers have different opinions. I've had Rico say something different than Aurea. Claire and I have a different sort of point of view as well, but we're going to go with APS and CCR until we hear otherwise. So anyone dealt with a mirror listing since December 1st? I think just Sanic. I think, Nelson, you had a lease though. That was a double end something, right? So we've come across it maybe a couple times since then, but I don't think we're going to see it a lot this year, but we will see it a little bit. So
Should I update my APS with that clause?
we'll ask there. Yeah, we didn't put irrevocably that word in. So.
So I thought it was funny about these guys here. So the other guys that be doing mirror posting, they're like property guys or who else is out there? The other guys have all gone out of business. Who went out of business last year? ICI's one and
They're parking.
PG something or other, right?
PG Direct. Yeah.
So
That's
just to
property
recall a little bit here, these guys went out of business. Anybody remember Purple Bricks?
Yes.
Gone.
Pear tree also.
Pear Tree gone. Realty Sellers gone. All these discounters are all gone. And I checked the other day there when I was fighting with Rico, and I thought, okay, how many listings are mirror posting? I want to find a mirror posting list and see who's doing what. There's 7 listings on the entire real estate board, mirror postings.
So it's not.
So that whole market, when the market gets tough, sellers want professionals. They don't want to do it themselves. Okay, and they should be doing that in a hot market too. But anyways, that's interesting.
Yeah. So let us know if you get into that situation. If you get into multiple rep situations, let us know anything that you have questions about with those situations. It's already almost 1:20. Do you want me to go into my article, or do you want to get into some of your fun training stuff?
Oh, how fun are your articles?
They're not that fun. I mean, this is not new. Another Toronto mall is going to be demolished. This is a Jane and Finch mall. It's finally going to be demolished for a bunch of condos. So that's going to happen.
Hey, that's where my bank branch is.
So they're talking about tons of parking. There's going to be an LRT that runs Finch West, and there's a ton of malls. Like we're seeing this trend. We've been seeing it for a couple of years, right? So all these malls are going to be redeveloped within the city. West Side Mall, Scarborough Town Center, Yorkdale, Sherway Gardens, Fairview Mall, Galleria Mall's already started. York Gate Mall, I don't know where that is.
Melbourne Mall.
Agincourt Mall, Atrium on the Bay, Dufferin Mall, Centrepoint Mall, Cloverdale Mall, Malvern Town Center, and now Jane Finch Mall. And they didn't include Pickering on here too, which is going to be also developed. So,
Online shopping.
but also some of the mall areas. I mean, people like who goes to malls now? I know Katelyn and I, we like dread going to a mall.
I only do to go get my nails done.
Like literally I avoid it. Like everything's online. I hate the parking. I hate going to store. If it doesn't have what you want, you have to like go to, like, I just don't like the mall. So you like the mall? You do? Just to like
Online
walk
only.
around or for shopping? So we've had a theory. We
Mall
always, we
walkers.
thought it'd be cool to keep malls and just create like a walking track, right? Just for the mall walkers.
Strollers?
Yeah,
Jim, yeah.
'cause we have hard winters in Canada, so that's all I have to go is go into a mall. So
Being hot, nobody's complaining.
All right.
so Morale wants to keep malls, but meanwhile, everyone's getting rid of them. So I think it is, they have the most space, right? They have the most amount of space to develop and get
Prime
some condos
location.
in there. So these areas, I mean, the malls they're tired. Well, Pickering Mall sucks in terms of shopping too, but
Yeah.
which one?
We're gonna get good.
I hope so.
Let's hope.
I hope so. Claire touched on this, but this is just another scary headline. Toronto just saw the worst year for home sales in 23 years. Sounds so scary when you read headlines like that, right? But the good news is it's good for buyers, so that's okay right now. But it's true, we did see record-breaking sales for 20 years. So I think we hit the bottom, and hopefully the message is that we're going to be increasing from now on. We talked a little bit about interest rates. I put the schedule up there. I'll throw it up here again quickly. I still have it. These are all the dates. You know, it's going to be at the hot topic again for 2024. So January 24th, March 6th, April 10th, June 5th. So these are all dates that your clients will be looking at. I'm assuming there's a little bit of a rush to, I think people know what the 24th is going to bring. We've even seen it on our Finch listing, a lot of showings this weekend. So
Yeah.
people are speculating. We touched on this a little bit. Annual rent increases are slowing down. Average asking price reaches $21.74 in November. So the prices are still high, but they are seeing a little bit of a slowdown in the prices of rentals, not in the volume or the units, but prices seem to be from November stabilizing a little bit, which kind of makes sense because rental prices were getting so high and Did anyone else see that kind of in the
Yeah.
market, whoever's doing rentals? Do you see prices coming down? Mo's, yeah. Is that for condos and houses or mostly condos or just condos? But you've seen the prices come down. Yeah, Morale, same, yeah, houses. same-
Probably easier though to get tenants in units now, no though, right? You're not competing as much. So if you're just starting, it might be a little bit. As long as you've got a qualified tenant, of course,
Interesting, right?
No, interest.
because there's too many probably.
Rent increases for 2024. Does anybody here know what the rent increases are for 2024?
I think it's 2.5.
Oh, I
I think
see
it stayed
the,
the same.
Same?
Yeah.
2.5?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it myself. Everybody saying yes for
Yeah.
sure? I'll take your word for it.
yeah, 2.5, there it is.
So if you have landlords that want to increase their rent, they can only increase it by 2.5%.
And with proper documentation. You
Yeah,
can't
of
just
course
like
there's
change.
rules.
Something you talked about your clients as well, and a lot of clients for some reason don't want to increase the rent over the years. And we've had some clients that have had rentals for like 10 years and they haven't increased at all. Anybody know what I'm talking about? So if you got clients, you might educate your clients. One more little touch point to talk to them, like, hey, by the way, did you do your rental increase? Here's how you do it.
But there are exceptions, right, for.
Yeah, there's some that aren't rent controlled and some that are.
So November 2018.
Yeah.
Some tenants are getting wise to that, not wanting to rent reviews.
Yeah, they're scared of it.
I would be.
Commercial is subject to all the TRESA rules, but as far as rent increase and that, it's a free market society.
Yeah. Yeah, even the processes are a little bit different. It's not under the LTV, it's a little bit different. This is kind of for Claire. I didn't know if you remembered this, but they're always talking about trying to bring back affordable housing and now Ottawa's just been pre-approved to, do you remember? I don't know if it was at Sears that had a catalog of houses. you could
Okay,
pick
yeah, you're serious, right? Okay, so what I always talk about here, I don't know if I don't know if they're gonna do it or just floating around, but has
They're
anybody
floating.
seen wartime homes? Did I say you wartime home, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Ajax.
They're all the same, right? So Ottawa's saying they want to do that again, so.
Those are what they look
Not
like.
with wartime home, but with townhouses.
They look
or
like
singles
a-
or whatever it might be. They want to make a cookie cutter.
Yeah, they've approved like 5 to 10 different designs that they want to put in a catalog that you can take to someone. They can say, okay, I want that one, and it's supposed to be, building at a low cost. I don't know where they would go. They already exist: North York, Ajax, around Toronto, Scarborough. This is what they look like. They call them Strawberry Hill houses, but I don't know why strawberry. Do you remember?
Just who named the builder.
Okay, this is what they look like. So you'll see them. You know where they are, but we'll see if they take off or not. It got approved, but we'll see what they do with it. I think that's all my stuff. Caitlin, if you've got just move over to more fun training.
Fun stuff. Okay, so most of you guys know for like the last month or so, every Monday before the office meeting, we now have Chris Leader, our coach. He goes over 4 different topics. It's either he's going to teach you about like sales skills, structure, lead generation, or like mindset. So he goes between those 4 topics. So that's every single Monday at 12 o'clock. It's only 30 minutes. So if you guys are looking just for some inspiration from an actual full trained professional real estate coach, Chris Leader, he's Canadian. That's why I really like him as well. He's from Barrie. He actually used to own a Century 21 back in his days. But yeah, so we brought him on for every Monday. Unfortunately, it's a program though that I can't send out a link. So if you guys want that type of coaching, you have to come in. Otherwise, he does have a monthly fee that you can pay so that you can watch the recordings on your own, but he doesn't even keep the recordings up for more than 5 days. So it's not like I can even send you guys too much. So if you want to see that, that's every Monday at 12, or if you come before Friday and you want to watch the webinar, you do have to come in person. It's all on a portal that I have access to. But Claire kind of briefly talked about what he talked about today. So I'll just give you guys an insight of what he does go through. He talked about the 4 pillars that every real estate agent needs to have, which is prospecting, presenting, pricing, and persuasion. So with prospecting, he really just said, if you're prospecting every single day, even if it's 1 hour, 2 hours every single day, you'll already be ahead of yourself. So if you guys are thinking of some goals for this year, it would be prospecting, which can come in many, many, many different forms. Calling, door knocking, social media, online, whatever you guys want. You guys can be as creative as you want. There's no one size fits all type of plan for anybody. But he was saying, understand who your best prospects are, where you're going to find them, and then what you're going to say. So of course, if your potential clients are senior citizens, you're probably not going to be advertising them on social media, right? You're going to be finding them in the more traditional routes. If you're going after the millennials, where will you find the millennials? Probably online. Same thing with like the Gen Zs, all of that. So figure out who your audience is this year and where you're going to find them and how you guys want to talk to them. Make it a daily habit. He calls it the hour of power. So 1 hour a day is not that dramatic. If you guys can put that into your everyday. He was talking about giving out 10 business cards a day, every day, and then he can go home. So really think about how you guys can connect with many more people this year outside of your sphere. Even start to think about people who do your hair, who does your nails, who's your accountant. All these outside people are different people that you can start adding into your dailies of who you're going to talk to. I don't want to go too deep into this one, but presentation, we talk about it all the time, how you guys need, your whole goal of your business is to get face-to-face appointments with people, specifically listing appointments, buyer appointments. And if you guys don't have a presentation today, please put it on your 2024 plans to have a real presentation, a digital presentation, like PowerPoint, whatever you guys want. Every single one of you guys should have a presentation, whether it's templated through us or you create your own. We do have access to those, and I'm going to show you guys that today. But a bad presentation, he was saying, is going to cost you clients. And we talk about this often too, which is focusing on sellers in all your prospecting efforts. If you guys can focus more on getting those seller clients, there's so much more to it and why people do it. And it's because there's a higher name recognition. For example, your for sale sign is your billboard. You get sign calls from buyers. It's just a better way to build your business if you guys can do more listings this year, especially when we're in a position of lower inventory coming. He was talking about if you guys are focusing on the buyers, you guys are going to be the ones in the lineups for those listings trying to fight for offers. But if you're in the seller side, you're the ones that are creating the lineup. So it's just a different power of having more sellers in your tool belt than you do with just the buyers. If you're a brand new agent though, he was talking about how first-time home buyers may be your target audience because you already don't know a whole lot about the industry, but you should know more than a first-time home buyer. So if you're trying to get into the market of any sort, sometimes the first-time home buyers is where you may start. But if you are more experienced in here, sellers should be something that we all strive to go after this year. More Percy Fulton signs out there, the better. And that it really helps everybody. It helps you go on a listing appointment and say, check out the market share we've got, check out all of our listings. It really does help leverage it when you're sitting in front of a live client. So presentations. Pricing, again, we won't get too heavy into it, but if you don't price the property right these days, it's not going to sell. And if you have a listing right now that is chilling on the market and not getting any action, 99% of the time it is price. So it's not because it smells bad. It's not because it's in a weird location. It's because we're not priced appropriately for that property. So pricing is going to be a skill that we really need to get into play. And the way that you guys can come up with the pricing strategies is through figuring out what's currently on the market, where you can price accordingly so that we're not helping sell other listings. We want to sell ours. So if a better listing is listed lower than ours, you're going to help sell that property. So we're going to go in knowing what's currently on the market, what has already sold, and then what maybe didn't sell as well. So these are the different factors that we're going to come into when it comes to pricing. And persuasion. So this is one that most agents are the most uncomfortable with, which is persuading people to meet you and persuading that you're the right agent for them. Expect people to hesitate and like they don't want to hire you right away. So when we're going on listing presentations, they already are hesitant to even be sold to. So we need to expect that from people and then have the answers that will help make them feel more at ease with you. So if you're strong in all four of those, so again, it's prospecting, presenting, pricing, and persuasion. If you're good in all of them, you're going to do great. If you're not strong in all of them, you will struggle. So those are the 4 pain points for the year. So that's just a sample of what Chris Leader goes with us every Monday. I don't know what he does next week. He actually never gives me the topic ahead of time. So I can't even advertise it to know if it's worth your time coming in or not, but that was today's topic. We were talking a little bit about having a checklist, and what better time of the year for you guys than the beginning of the year. I wonder if I can smallen this up. So I was just talking about the listing presentation, for example. How many of you guys have a listing presentation? How many of you do not? I guess that's a more awkward question. Okay, go for it. Go. You can't help it, guys.
I can't help
You
it.
can't help it. Day one.
No, you go ahead.
No, go for it. No, go.
Just curious, so those people that do not have listing presentations because you don't feel the value for it, or just you haven't had time to do it, or?
Some are new, so we know it's part of your training, you're getting into it. But for the ones that are not new.
My experienced people should all have one.
Chris Leader.
He does. Yep. And there's tons of templates out there. So we're not saying there's a right template or a wrong template. Some use Chris Leader's the guy at the coach. He has a template. He did a 6-8 week program for us. So he gave us those. I have them all on the Google Drive. Yes. Exactly. So customize, take it. We've got a Century 21 one. There's so many templates out there. But what I have here is really an agent checklist that you guys should all have in your tool belt today, new or experienced. I didn't put the links to where these are, but I'm going to show you a quick Google Drive tour of where they are. But if you're, for example, a new agent, we should be doing, I know I've got some of my newbies in here, HST numbers, headshots, business cards, professional email address. You should have a contact list. Everyone should have an a client contact list, an introduction letter if you're brand new, open house signs. Nothing kills me more these days. And I know it's normal, and this is why we have these very easy to use open house signs. They're bags, they're not fancy, but it's because we know an agent is going to call us on Friday at 12 o'clock telling us they have a listing or an open house tomorrow, right? And no printer is going to print them. So everybody should have open house signs in their house before they're planning on it. So don't just get the sign the day before, because the way we train open houses is we want you to like start the prospecting on like the Wednesday, Thursday, and start inviting neighbors to come to it, get flyers ready, get your marketing ready, and then do the open house. I know 95% of people just grab the sign, stick them up, stand in the house at 2:00 p.m. and that's how they're running an open house. It's a great way if you want to have a very boring weekend, but if you want to enjoy the weekend, we should do it properly to actually get people in the home. And by having these things all up front right away, it's going to make things a lot easier. Online presence, we should all have professional websites and some sort of online presence on the social media platforms. Doesn't have to be all of them, but you should have a profile. So if someone Googles your name, where do they find you online? Are you active on all of these? Are you Googleable? Where can people find you? Realtor.ca profile photo. I would love if you guys all Googled yourself on Realtor.ca and popped up that headshot. See how old it is, because maybe this is your year to refresh it. I think you have to mail it in or email the headshot in. It's not very easy. So if you guys find you have a very old headshot, take a look at that. If you're working with buyers, you should have a buyer questionnaire, a buyer presentation, which is a PowerPoint, a buyer guide, a moving checklist. So something you give to your clients after they purchase a home. Here's a list of all the things you need to do now, all the utility companies, where they pack, where to change their address, all of that stuff. And then of course, purchase agreements, which I know some people even just have in their car at all times. So if they're going on a last minute appointment, they've got a set of all of this in their trunk. They've got a folder that has a buyer's guide, a present or a buyer rep agreement, all this stuff. So you just never know when you're going to get put onto that. Sellers, you should also have a seller questionnaire, which again is someone says, hey, can you sell my house? And you say, yep, let's get on a call. And then we have a 1-page questionnaire where you just ask them a bunch of questions about their home, and then you set the appointment with them. So you should all have that. Branded folders, a listing presentation, a seller's guide, a CMA template, testimonial page, all your marketing materials to show your sellers what type of marketing you're going to do for them, a plan of action, and a listing proposal. These are 2 things that you give to the sellers after you did the presentation to summarize, okay, here's the plan of action. This is what we're going to do to get your home on the market. Here's the date the photographer's coming, the cleaners are coming, the stagers are coming. This is what day we go on the market. So you should have all these templates ready to go.
So if you came today looking for stuff to do or looking
You've got a
for
whole
checklist,
list.
this is it.
This is your to-do list to get ready for the year, guys. Again, you guys are so lucky because I have all of this done for you. It just takes some time to go through it. Some of the tech I want you guys to get comfortable with, we're going to have some fun with Realm. That's all we're doing in February, by the way, because it's coming February 28th. Stratus is no longer existing. So if you are still a Stratus person like myself on desktops, we all need to get comfortable with using Realm because that's taking over. I know we want to complain and cry about it, but unfortunately it's not changing. They already was supposed to happen last year and they gave us a whole year to catch up. So everyone should have the Realm app. It's a really good app, actually. If you're using House Sigma, it should replace House Sigma, and then get on Realm on your desktop. And then I have a whole bunch of other ones on there. Geo Warehouse. Anyone not aware of what Geo Warehouse is? I don't want to call anyone out, but I have gotten this question a lot from new agents. We're all familiar. Good job, Ginny. I just know they don't teach you guys this in school, and it's a really important site to have. You should all be aware of your CRM, which is through Hub 21. Electronic signatures, you should get comfortable using it and not when you're in a live transaction. So we should all be practicing that before you guys are with a live client so that you're not panic calling us at 10 o'clock on a Saturday saying, hey, my client wants to put an offer in. I don't know how to use DigiSign. And then we're stuck at dinner with our husband saying, sorry, I got to go help someone use an electronic signature. So get comfortable using it. Ginny does a lot of training on it in your onboarding. So if you're not familiar, book a one-on-one with us. Broker Bay is where your appointments are. SkySlope for paperwork. We're going to show you Google. House Price Index. Did you pop up Market Watch too for me?
I did, but we'll log in and grab it.
I even have tools and tech that you guys need. Everyone should have a working laptop this year. Up to date, maybe. Cell phone, laser measuring tape, or if you want to do a regular measuring tape, tripods and selfies for all my TikTokers, Google calendars or paper calendars, Canva, all that.
Ashia?
Yep. I have some videos actually, specifically on YouTube actually. So it's 30 seconds. I can try to remember to give it to you, but I did do a quick one on there.
And I would just book yourself a preview showing.
Yes.
And just go in and measure it so you're not stressed.
Or your own house.
Yeah, your own house. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Grab your laser and just stick it on a wall.
Yeah, because measurements are a required field, although Claire let me know that it's only the first field that's required. I don't know. One room is mandatory. I think that's going to change eventually. So get comfortable measuring all rooms, not just like the biggest room.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm going to email this out to you guys today so that you all have a checklist of it. I haven't linked any of it. Is it this file? Where's the Google Drive, Claire? Do I have to go into your Google? I just want to show you guys that you have access to this. Maybe show them. Okay, pay attention to my non-Googler people. So you guys all have access to this file called C21 Percy Fulton files. In this file, we have everywhere you can find your offers there, any paperwork if the girls are closed, any logos, if you need a Century 21 logo, it's in there. Systems for Success is your training program. So anything I do with you guys will be in Systems for Success. We have buyer seller guides and presentations, policies and procedures, all that. But I wanted to dive into Systems for Success just to show you how organized this is. We have everything for you guys. So onboarding, that checklist will be in the onboarding section. But if you want to pretend you're a brand new agent, we have onboarding stuff with all the checklists you need to get going. Let's go to database. If you're getting into, you want to learn how to grow your database, I have a full booklet plus any type of template you could ever use. All the scripts are there. So if you're getting into cold calling, lead generation is the most fun one because I've got everything. If you want to grow your Facebook, you want to grow anything, scripts, lead trackers. I even have a prospecting calendar for those of you guys that don't have your calendar set in play. And then again, a step-by-step booklet. So go through these. If you guys need the seller's guides, working with buyers, we have a full buyer's guide here. It's already done for you. If you hate the branding, just email me. I have a template link where you can edit this entire guide and put your logos in it, change the colors, change the wording. Otherwise, you can just print and go. But the whole goal of that checklist is to make sure you guys have all of this ready to go with your branding, with everything, so that when you're put on the spot to meet with a buyer, you guys are already set to go. The moving planner I spoke about, I could take away the Fulton Sisters logo, but I've given you guys all the utilities companies. This is something to send to all of your clients after they move. See where I'm going with this. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Your listing presentations are all here, ready to be edited. Again, scripts. I have even a step-by-step what to do when you get called on a listing appointment. This is the systems for success. Make sure you do your discovery call, book an in-person meeting, yada, yada, yada. So if you guys ever find yourselves very lost and confused, if you can go into Google Drive, I promise you'll probably find any template or tool you could ever dream of, and I have it for everything. So we're all comfortable with that?
So that folder is going to live in a section that says shared with me. Obviously, I'm the owner of this folder. So for me, it lives in my drive, but for you, it's going to be in shared with me. My shortcut, which I should probably email, but just take that main folder under shared with me, go to organize, and add yourself a shortcut under my drive. If you don't want to go to the shared with me, if that's confusing, you want it to show up in your main drive, just add a shortcut there and it will live in your own drive forever.
Yeah.
But are we blowing your minds by showing you all this, or did you guys all know that this was here? Because it's been here since 2016.
I actually update this anytime I go to a conference, anytime I'm like online and someone says, hey, I've got a template, like,
Sure.
yeah, we'll do that too. Let me show you guys this. For example, I've got my social media guys. I forget what I called it. If I've got social media content, I have 365 days of content for you guys. It is a very intense Excel sheet. You all, again, have access to it. You can separate it into quarters. I've got hooks for you. You can do a quick audit on your social platforms. Otherwise, I have content for every single day of the year, so you guys don't have to think about it.
And we're not offended if you do have to ask us for this.
No.
Like, we know it's there. If you just want to ask us where something is, we will tell you. So don't feel like you can't ask us where if you want just a quick answer. But it does live here. If it's like a Sunday at midnight and we don't respond, it's here.
Yeah. Did you dive on? I'll show how to access. Actually, yeah, you can do it now. Since
I'll just show you quickly. So, I mean, the easiest way, everyone has a different way. There's like 10 different ways to get into Google Drive. I usually just start off in my email. It's the easiest one, gmail.com. You're signed into your email. I click on the waffle. This is this 9-dot thing here. I'm in my Century 21 email, not in my personal, and I just click Drive. I don't know. So for you, it's going to live and shared with me. Obviously, I have a million folders. Yours might not look like this.
When you do a shortcut, though, it'll pop up there.
Yeah. But you could also just go straight to drive.google.com, Century 21 email. But usually you're in your email. That's like your main starting point. And you get to Hub 21 that way too. You get to Google Drive that way. If you don't like this view, like you can change it. Like you can make it a list view. Maybe your brain likes lists and you like alpha order. I don't. I like to see it in blocks. Maybe you just want to search for whatever you're looking for. So you're searching for a form, you're searching for buyer guide. You can actually just put in the text here and you will get a whole list of files that match that. And it doesn't just search file names. It will search the content of the files as well to help match that search.
While we're in there, I do email it to you guys, but I am gonna start putting the stats bricks on it. I think it's my most requested one. But I will start to put the stats bricks in the Google Drive. Otherwise, I email it to you guys and you can quickly look it up. But I wanted to point out, so a lot of you guys use this on your social platforms. But I don't want you guys just to post this. I post it for your knowledge just to see the numbers in one spot. When you are posting it on social media and sharing it with your clients, you should take it an extra step and actually talk about what those numbers mean. If you don't know what the numbers mean, if you guys look up, or you can even Google it, Toronto Market Watch. It is exactly where I find all of the stats. Here on the main page, it gives you a summary of the statistics. And I'll be very honest with you guys, when I make my social media caption, I take this, I copy it, I put it in a chat GPT, and I say, please summarize in an easy to understand language. And then my caption is created. If I want it with all the emojis, I say put emojis on it to make it look cool. And ChatGPT is the one that makes my caption. So if you guys are ever curious, but if you don't know how to understand these numbers, just copy and paste this summary, stick it in ChatGPT, and it will come out with whatever content you want.
And make it sound like your tone of voice. If you
Yes.
sound like upbeat, enthusiastic, say make it sound upbeat. Like it'll change the tone of it.
It'll say professional, serious,
Millennial. or
millennial.
whatever.
I've done millennials. Like, what's up, guys? Here's the market stats of the day. But anyways, this is where I do find the numbers for the people that do really, really want to know. I just take it from these summaries and I just input the numbers. So it's not like I'm making these numbers up and doing calculations. I just wait for this monthly report to come and then I input it into that chart. And you guys can find that's all for GTA. If you scroll down here, you will see stats for every type of home, every city. You can do detached. It'll tell you how many days on market, all of this good stuff. And then if you guys want to compare this year's report, you just go to a market archive and you can do some number comparisons of the two. So this is if you're really into the analysis and analyzing the numbers. I think that's it for that. So that's Market Watch for all my numbers. People ask us where we get those. Any questions on that stuff? And leave a few more things and then we're done. You know where you're going? Yeah, I have it on my phone. Okay, just a few things to remind you guys of. Do you have Hub 21 open by any chance? Who are my Hub 21 people? I don't think there's a lot, but I want to remind you guys, if you are on Hub 21 and sending newsletters, whether it's seasonal maintenance, life at home, or the holidays, you have to reset it now. It's 2024. We got to re-upload your new newsletters. So if you haven't done that, we have to do that today. It won't continue. So this is your reminder. I'm going to make a video actually on how to do it because we're getting to that point. So I'm going to make a video how to update it. I know I control a lot of people's CRMs here. I'm hoping you guys will take it over. But if I do have access to it, I'm going to send you guys a video on how to now upload the campaigns. If you're new here, the campaigns are awesome. We use the seasonal maintenance one. Every quarter, you can set your whole email list up to receive a seasonal maintenance reminder of what to do for their home. It tells you what date they get sent out. So the next one's not until March. And you can just put their contacts in, get this email reminder sent out. You don't even have to think about it. So anytime you get a new contact, you should add them to some sort of campaign. There's home maintenance. Again, there's holidays. There's life at home, which I know a lot of people use too, which sends out every single month and it goes straight to your client's contact list. So this should all be part of your 12-month communication plan, which we all did in our business planning, right? Yeah. E-newsletters, the simplest thing you can do to stay in touch with people. And finally, Wednesday, we have a financial advisor coming, or not coming in. We're doing a webinar on Wednesday. He's just going to talk about what to do with your commission money. So if you guys want to start to make money off your commission money, if we have any leftovers, that is, what to do with it. So if you want to start to get into RSPs, think about different types of investments you can be doing. He's going to talk about like children's education funds, bunch of good stuff for you guys. And then we're even going to talk a little bit about how to manage your taxes and maybe some tips and stuff like that. So it's more of a financial chit chat. And then Tech Thursdays, actually that comes in plan. If you want to get to know Hub 21, every Thursday, there's also a webinar with Alistair. He's from head office. This week, he's going to be talking about testimonial tree, which I don't like. I think we should all be on Google and not using like outside third-party platforms for testimonials. I would use Google. But anyways, he's gonna be talking about that. And then next week, he's gonna talk about campaigns. So if you really want an in-depth lesson on the campaigns, he's gonna talk about that. And also websites and how to edit your website and SEO. So that's every Thursday for this month.
What time on Thursday?
I think it's at 12 o'clock. I'll resend. I sent an email yesterday, but I'll resend it. And then this Wednesday is at 11:30. So I'll send a link out for that too. Any questions? Oh, is there one Tressa question?
How does commission work?
That's the
Yeah,
tricky
so
one.
so you have to make sure the seller is going to agree to pay commission, and then you've got to do a CCR that will identify that, as well as put a clause in your agreement of purchase and sale. That might change. I actually think there should be some sort of agreement with that, and I'm not satisfied with the CCR, but for now, we're gonna go with what Rico's put in writing, and that may change, so we'll keep you posted. Keep in mind that some sellers may not be paying commission. You may literally be working for $1 of the listing commission. So you've got to really make sure that they're willing to pay commission. Sometimes you may actually deal directly with that seller. And that there's a whole slew of other documents that you'll need if that is the case. So it really depends on the agreement that that listing brokerage has with that client and what duties they're going to provide to them.
Sometimes they write it in the listing.
I think her question was related to the mirror posting.
Self-represented.
Oh yeah, you cannot be
You
paid by a
can't.
self-represented person. So that's a whole other document, and you can't get paid by them. You're gonna have to get paid by your buyer client or with the other side. That's our whole fight with the mirror listings is under TRESA, you have to have an agreement to get paid.
What if it's not a mirror listing? You're just walking to your neighbors and they want to sell their house,
So you still have to follow the flow chart of all the documents you require.
which we do have as well.
But can the
May
buyer-
not be the question, but a self-represented person, you have to get a limited service agreement signed with them. You can't get paid by a self-represented
Yeah,
person.
the limited service may be literally to just receive commission, but it may also be to present an offer, to review an offer, to receive commission. So there's a couple things.
Can the buyer give you commission and include it into your notes?
Yeah, Ren, did we get an answer from Scotiabank on that? Not yet. We're gonna find out more. Yeah, so the question is, can the buyer pay commission and have it towards their mortgage? We believe Scotiabank will let you, but our question though is if that total amount is part of your appraisal amount, like do you have to qualify for that whole amount? That's gonna be the tricky part. We're waiting for them to respond.
Well, what is the difference between funding for the market? So I don't understand. Yeah.
Because it's not.
Okay, so those at home, though, so what Zach's asking, what's the difference? Why would the bank care if the seller's paying the commission? So.
Because they're lending.
So Sam Nelson talked about this. What if the seller says, I'm gonna give you $50,000 off as a cashback? No reason, just a cashback. So then if the bank knows you did that, the bank's gonna knock $50,000 off the appraisal value.
That's what the purchase price.
Correct. That's right.
Part of the market.
So the question is that this is no different. This is a cashback to the buyer. So we have to make sure that they don't consider it as a cashback to the buyer.
So
If they, from April, they will find out the lowest offer. They petition for it.
And just not to get too heavy into it, but the buyers, or yeah, the bank is represented by the buyer's lawyer. And if the buyer's lawyer knows that there's a discount or something going on, they have to tell the bank, so they can't sort of bury it.
Full transfer. Where it should be written.
Written.
CCR and APS.
Yes.
yes, for
So
now.
far.
Are you satisfied with that? You still, I'm not.
I'm done. I'm happy. Just so anybody cares, man, I had a big fight with Joe. Anybody know who Joe is? Ask Joe.
Oh yeah.
That's
Ask
deep.
Joe on Rico.
Rico. So Joe and I are friends now. I gave him the heck because as so brokers on the street are fighting over this mirror posting thing. We're arguing over clauses and you guys aren't telling us anything. That was my whole point. Anyways, question over here.
Say, and then there's offer centralized by buyer, but it's a self-represented party, okay? Now, the commission wise, if the offer accepted, do we say we get the full commission? What does mean full commission? Is it the total commission or just the listing commission?
I think you have to state the
I'm
exact.
sorry, I didn't fully understand the question.
Who are you representing?
I'm representing the seller.
You're a seller, okay?
It's our seller. Okay.
Now, the offer come from a self-represent.
Okay. So the buyer comes to self-represent. Yeah. You get full commission. You take all 5%. You take all 5%.
I like that deal.
Or 6%.
I'm assuming the seller would probably negotiate that though. There's no way they're gonna.
The contract says you get paid 5%.
Yeah.
If you negotiate something different, that's between you and them.
And if you do negotiate something different, it has to be in writing.
Mhm.
So that also has to be in your agreement.
No, that's if you're just the seller and it's a self-rep.
Self-rep person. So you can't do anything for that person. They're just handing you an offer and all you're doing is presenting it and communicating it.
if the buyer asks some money,
No, because they're not our client.
I understand, but self-representation, and he asked me and said, you're gonna.
No, we cannot be paid by an SRP anymore.
No.
You cannot under law. It's not a rule, it's the law.
So under the table.
No.
No, what?
No, it's illegal.
It is illegal to be paid by an SRP.
Tested us today.
We had a question on Facebook. The realtor cooperation policy it's for all Canada, is it not?
Yeah,
It's all,
Korea.
that's all Canada. It's a Korea rule. So not just Ontario, not just Toronto, it's all of Canada. Any other questions, Paige, or no?
Where's my ship? How do we get to the ad? To the campaign? Where's my ship?
Get to the what?
You're gonna do a video to the
Yeah.
campaigns part of Hub 21. I mean, I can show it quickly too. So you're in Hub 21.
So go to my.hub21.ca. That's how you log into your campaigns.
You're gonna go to C21 Engage, and then it's the last tab called Campaigns, and they're all in the library here.
There's a few steps to it, so I'll do a
We'll
video.
do a video.
I probably actually have it on YouTube, but I'll do another.
Does anyone have any listings that you want to talk about? You can talk about exclusively right now. Anything, any closing remarks then?
No, close your market. So you've got all types, you've got all kinds of things to do. That little template, and nobody's perfect. Nobody's got all those things done. So you think I haven't done any of those things? Well, join the
Okay.
club.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why we did it for you.
But the fact is that there will be a couple day, there will be a day that you're gonna do an open house. There will be a day there's gonna be an open house, so you wanna make sure you got the open house signs ready. There's gonna be a day you're gonna do a listing presentation. You wanna have your listing presentation done before that day,
Not 2 hours before it.
right? You know, you wanna send your clients, seasonal emails once a quarter, then there it is, right? So just have to probably be prepared. There's all kinds of things to do.
Okay, we'll see you next Monday.
Sorry, one last question.
Oh,
I want to add on something on the rental trend control. Now, this year, the rent continues to 2.5, but for those new buildings built after November 15, 2018, they can increase once a year. But they need like says no,
Yeah.
also reach the end to fall.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And what if the tenant doesn't agree? They have to move out. So you have to take them to court, I guess.
Yeah, it'll probably be tricky, but.
Cash for keys is the new thing now, paying people to leave, so.
Yeah, you can only increase so much as a tenant is gonna accept it and stay there. You don't want to disgruntle your tenants unless they are bad.
Yes, one more thing. When we have open house, okay, so open house, so we need to prepare the vehicle information guide,
Yes.
and we need to prepare the agreement, the buyer's agreement, same part, because someone may come in, they want to see the other property.
Okay, so Rebecca's asking an open house, okay, what should you have at the open house? The question, should I have a BRA ready or have some type of agreement? We should have that anyways, but what you need to have is the RICO information guide on your phone somewhere, so you can send that to anybody anytime. So that needs to be there at all times. And as far as the having BRA ready at the time at the open house, right now they're not, right now they're just looking, they're looking around, they're not a client, so you don't have to necessarily do that at that point.
They're not just servicing the seller anyway, right?
If it's your
You're
listing.
servicing the seller, so you don't care about the buyer.
If they want to see other property as well.
It's another story, it's another ball.
Yeah, you have to use sales skills too, right? No, not likely someone's gonna sign a BRA when they meet you, that first instance. It's gonna be kind of hard to convince somebody. So you can show a property, you can answer questions about the house, when was it built? But as soon as they say, Rebecca, what should I offer on this property, or what do you think? As soon as you start to provide skill and guidance, then you need proper agreements. But until then, you have to finesse it a little bit. And yes, you can get a BRA, it'd be great if you had one, but not many people are gonna sign that right away until they get to know you, so.
Not if they want to buy the house.
We understand, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will talk about other
Yeah,
they need
I'm
a BRA.
you can show a house without the BRA. I'm not saying you should do that, but you can until you just can't provide guidance. You can't rely on your expertise as an agent without an
So
agreement.
just, okay, I want,
I wouldn't.
I'm gonna put this to bed if I can, and then, so Teresa, all the training, all the courses that you put on, they say you can't work with a self-represented person. You gotta have a contract. You can't work with anybody. You can't show property. You can't do this, can't do that. They say all that stuff, right? As far as I'm concerned, you may not like this person, so you don't know. So you're just, as Cardi says, you're just giving information that's publicly known information. But when they would finally decide they want to put an offer, now you gotta get an agreement. So at this point in time, you may not want them. So we're not gonna sign an agreement. You may not even like them. So why would you sign an agreement with them, right? So just do what you always did. Right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. The only thing's changed in Teresa, just so everybody knows, is multiple representation. If you happen to have a multiple representation, that's it. Then we have to have a discussion. Beyond that, it's exactly the same. Nothing's changed.
Good point. Cool. Okay. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next week.